I never expected my future wife to be selected by the most intimidating woman in the military, especially not by the woman I asked for help. My name is Noah Bennett, and before everything changed, my life was simple. I was a logistics officer at Fort Harrington. I managed supply operations, tracked equipment, solved problems nobody wanted to deal with. It was not glamorous, but I liked it. The only problem was my personal life. It was non-existent. My mother reminded me of that every time we talked, usually within the first 5 minutes. Are you eating properly? Yes, Mom. Are you sleeping enough? Yes. Are you seeing anyone? I always knew that question was coming. Noah, long silence. Then Noah. I sighed. Yes. You are 30 years old. I know. You spend your whole life helping everyone else. I like my job. I know, but who is helping you? That question always stopped me because honestly, I did not know. My father passed away years ago. My mother lived alone and I spent most of my time at the base. The military gave me purpose, but sometimes after a long day I returned to my apartment and realized there was nobody waiting. No conversation, no dinner, no one asking how my day went. Just silence. One weekend, my mother visited me near the base. She looked around my apartment, then looked at me, then looked around again. I immediately knew. What? She shook her head. Nothing. Mom, this place looks like nobody lives here. I live here. No, she pointed at the room. This is where someone stores uniforms. I laughed. That is not true. She opened my refrigerator, then closed it. Okay. What? You need help. I have food. You have protein bars. Those count. No. I smiled. What? She sat down. You need someone. I knew this conversation. Mom, I am not asking you to get married tomorrow. Good. I'm asking you to meet people. I tried and it never works. What? I thought about it because everyone wants something. She looked at me. What do you mean? I don't know. I looked away. Maybe I just don't know how to meet the right person. The next day I made the worst decision of my life. I asked Commander Amelia Cross for dating advice. At least that was what I thought I was doing. Commander Cross was the commanding officer of our unit. 32 years old, brilliant, decorated, impossible to read. Everyone called her the Ice Commander. Not because she was cruel, because she was controlled. She never raised her voice, never showed panic, never let emotions affect decisions. She could walk into a battlefield briefing and make everyone feel like they were the least prepared person in the room, including me. I found her after training. She was reviewing reports. Of course, Commander Cross was always working. Commander. She looked up. Lieutenant Bennett. Yes. Why are you standing there? I paused. I need advice. That surprised her. About what? I hesitated. This was already a mistake, but I continued. Marriage. For the first time in months I saw something change in her expression. Not much, just a slight pause. Marriage? Yes. She put down the report. Explain. I scratched my head. My mother thinks I need to find someone. And I think she is right. Commander Cross stared at me. I immediately felt uncomfortable. What? You are asking me for relationship advice? Yes. What? That was a fair question. Because honestly I had no idea. Maybe because Amelia Cross was the only person I knew who always had the I need someone who understands people. She looked at me, and you think I do? I almost laughed. Commander, you understand everyone. No, she looked back at the report. I understand missions. That answer surprised me. You don't understand people? Not always. Then she said something unexpected, especially myself. I froze because it sounded almost personal. But before I could ask, she returned to the original topic. What kind of person are you looking for? I thought about it. Someone kind. She nodded. Good. Someone honest. Good. Someone who can handle my job. Important. I smiled. And someone my mother likes. Commander Cross looked at me. Your mother's approval? Yes. Interesting. What? Nothing. I thought the conversation ended there. I was wrong. That night at 10:47 p.m. My phone rang. A message from Commander Cross. I opened it and froze. It was a photo, not a military document, not a mission file, not a report. A personal photo. Amelia Cross wearing a simple sweater, no uniform, no commander expression, just a woman smiling. Underneath the photo was one sentence: send this to your mother. I stared at the screen. I thought maybe I misunderstood. So I replied, Commander? 3 seconds later you asked me to find someone. I blinked. Yes, her reply came immediately. I found someone. My heart stopped. I stared at the photo again. The ice commander, the woman everyone feared, the woman who could command hundreds of soldiers, had just sent her own picture for my mother to approve. I typed slowly, "Who is this?" Her answer, "Your potential wife." I nearly dropped my phone because Commander Amelia Cross did not joke, ever. Which meant one terrifying possibility: she was serious. The woman I asked to help me find love had decided to volunteer herself. And tomorrow morning my mother was going to receive a photo of the most intimidating woman in the military with one message: "I think I can be a good daughter-in-law." I spent the entire night staring at my phone. Not because I was excited, because I was confused. Very confused. Commander Amelia Cross had sent me her own photo and told me to send it to my mother. That was not something normal people did. Especially not Amelia Cross. At 6:30 the next morning my phone rang. I knew who it was before answering. "Mom." There was a strange silence. Then Noah. "Yes." "Who is Amelia Cross?" I closed my eyes. Of course. She had already seen it. "Mom, your commander?" "Yes." "The woman in the photo?" "Yes." Another silence. "She is beautiful." I immediately sat up. "Mom." "What?" "She is my commander." "I know. She commands hundreds of soldiers." "I know. She is not just some person I met." "I know." I sighed. "Then why do you sound happy?" Because I could hear it. That mother tone. The one that meant she had already imagined the future. "Noah." "Yes." "Why did your commander send me her photo?" I had no answer. Because honestly I still did not understand. She said she was helping me find someone. My mother became quiet. Then she volunteered herself? I looked at the ceiling. That sounds worse when you say it. My mother laughed. "Noah." "Yes. I like her already." "You have not met her." "I do not need to meet someone to know when they are serious." I smiled. "That is impossible." "No," she sounded certain. "She sent me a photo." "Yes." "She knew exactly who she was sending it to." "Yes." "She chose to contact your mother." Pause. "That means something." I arrived at the base expecting everything to feel normal. It did not, because the moment I entered the command building I saw Amelia, Commander Cross. Perfect uniform, straight posture, cold expression, the same woman everyone respected, the same woman who had sent my mother her personal photo 12 hours earlier. And somehow knowing that changed everything. "Commander." She looked up. "Lieutenant Bennett." "Yes." "Did your mother receive the photo?" I nearly stopped walking. She asked directly. "Yes." And I stared at her. "You really want to know?" "Yes." I tried not to smile. "She likes you." For the first time Amelia Cross looked surprised. "She does?" "Yes." "What?" I laughed. "Because you sent her your photo." She looked confused. "That was the purpose." "You say that like it is normal." "It is not?" "No." She thought for a moment. "Then, perhaps I misunderstood civilian customs." I almost laughed. "You are telling me the woman who can negotiate with generals does not understand dating?" She looked away. "I understand strategy. And relationships are less predictable." That answer was surprisingly honest. During training that morning I noticed something. Amelia was different. Not with everyone, only with me. She still gave orders, still corrected mistakes, still acted like a commander, but small things changed. When I forgot my gloves, she noticed. When I skipped lunch, she noticed. When I stayed late reviewing reports, she noticed. Finally I asked, "Commander." "Yes." "Are you always this observant?" "Yes." "Or just with me?" She became silent. That was my answer. After training she called me to her office. I entered. She had 2 cups of coffee. I stopped. "You bought me coffee?" "Yes." "What?" "You were tired." I looked at the coffee, then at her. "You are really bad at pretending this is just a normal thing." She looked confused. "What?" "Because you were acting like I stopped." "Like what?" I smiled. "Like someone who cares." Her expression changed slightly. Then she looked away. "I am your commander." That does not answer the question. No. Pause. "But it is true." I sat down. "Commander." "Yes." "Why did you send my mother your photo?" She knew this question was coming. She placed the report aside. "Because you asked." "That simple?" "Yes." "Amelia." It was the first time I used her first name. She noticed, but she did not correct me. "You could have sent me a list of people." "Yes." "You could have introduced me to someone." "Yes." "But you sent your own photo." "Yes." "What?" For several seconds she said nothing. Then, because I already knew the answer, I frowned. What answer? The type of person you needed. And she looked at me. I knew nobody else would understand you. That caught me off guard. What? Because everyone sees your position. My position? Yes. She continued. They see a soldier, a reliable person, someone responsible. Pause. But I see you. The room became quiet. I did not know what to say. Because Amelia Cross was not someone who gave compliments. Not casually. Not emotionally. Every word from her meant something. Amelia. Yes. How long have you known? She understood. How long have I known what? That you wanted. I struggled to finish. This. She looked at me then answered, longer than you think. My heart moved. Why didn't you say anything? A faint smile appeared. Because you never looked at me that way. I froze. Amelia. Yes. You are the commander. Yes. You are intimidating. I know. Everyone is afraid of you. I know. And you thought I would not notice? Yes. I laughed. That is ridiculous. What? Because I have always noticed you. That surprised her. You have? Yes. Then why did you ask me to find a wife? I had no answer. Because that was the truth. I had been standing beside the person I was looking for and I never realized. That evening my mother called again. This time she sounded serious. Noah? Yes. I want to meet her. I immediately knew. Mom, no excuses. She is busy. So am I. You are retired. That does not mean I have no schedule. I laughed. Mom. Noah? Yes. Bring Amelia to dinner. I hesitated then looked at my phone. At the commander who had somehow become the person my mother wanted to meet. I will ask. The answer came faster than expected. I sent Amelia a message. My mother wants to meet you for dinner. I expected hesitation. Maybe a polite refusal. Instead her reply came within seconds. What time? I stared. That was it? No hesitation? No concern? I typed, are you sure? Her answer, yes. Then another message appeared. Noah? Yes. Your mother matters to you. Pause. So she matters to me. I stared at the message. Because that sentence was simple but it revealed everything. The ICE commander was not just trying to become my wife. She was already trying to become part of my life. The next evening I picked Amelia up at the base entrance and for the first time I saw something I never expected. She was nervous. Actually nervous. I looked at her. You are afraid? No, Amelia. She sighed. Perhaps. I smiled. The woman who leads special operations is nervous about meeting my mother? Yes. What? She looked at me. Because missions have rules. And dinner? Dinner is personal. I laughed. Then she said quietly, I want her to like me. I stopped smiling because the ICE commander, the woman nobody could shake, wanted my mother's approval. And suddenly I realized something. She was not chasing a mission. She was chasing a family. I had seen Amelia Cross walk into dangerous situations without hesitation. I had seen her stand in front of hundreds of soldiers and give orders with complete confidence. I had seen her face pressure that would make most people break. But that night standing outside my mother's house, she looked more nervous than I had ever seen her. I almost found it funny. Almost. Amelia. She looked at me. Yes. You know you are about to meet my mother, not negotiate a peace treaty. I know. Then why do you look like you are preparing for battle? She thought about it. Because your mother's opinion matters. That answer surprised me. You are serious? Yes. What? She looked at the house. Because she raised the person I care about. I stopped. The words were simple but coming from Amelia Cross they meant everything. Before I could respond, the door opened. My mother appeared. And the moment she saw Amelia, her entire expression changed. Not because she was intimidated, because she was happy. She smiled. You are even prettier than the photo. I immediately looked away. Mom. What? You cannot say that first. Why not? Because it is embarrassing. Amelia surprised me. She smiled. A real smile. Thank you. My mother looked at her carefully, then nodded. I like you. I nearly laughed. Mom. What? You met her for 5 seconds. That is enough. Amelia looked at me. Your mother is very direct. I smiled. Yes. I understand where you got it. I froze. Excuse me? My mother laughed. I like her even more. Dinner was unlike anything I expected because Amelia Cross was not Commander Cross. At the base she was untouchable. Here she was sitting at my mother's table holding a bowl of soup answering questions listening. My mother asked, "Do you cook?" Amelia nodded, "Yes." I almost choked. "You do?" She looked at me. "Why are you surprised?" "Because I have never seen you near a kitchen." "That does not mean I cannot cook." My mother smiled. "What can you make?" "Simple meals. Such as pasta, soup, roasted chicken." My mother nodded approvingly. "Good." I looked between them. "What is happening?" My mother ignored me. After dinner, Amelia helped my mother clean the dishes. I stood in the doorway watching. It felt strange. Not because Amelia was helping, because it looked natural, like she had done it many times before. My mother handed her a towel. "Amelia?" "Yes?" "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Why my son?" I froze. I wanted to stop the conversation, but Amelia answered before I could. "Because he is kind." "Simple." My mother smiled. "Only kind?" Now Amelia looked toward me. "He notices people." Pause. "He helps without expecting anything." Another pause. "And he never treats people differently because of their position." My mother became quiet because she understood. She knew exactly what Amelia meant. After dinner, my mother showed Amelia old photos. Most of them were embarrassing pictures of me as a child. "Of course." "Mom?" "What?" "Please stop." Now Amelia looked at a photo. I was 7 years old holding a broken toy airplane. "You fixed it?" I nodded. "My father taught me." Amelia smiled. "You were always like this." "Like what?" "Trying to repair things." I laughed. "That is a strange observation." Noah, she looked at the picture. "It explains a lot." I looked at her. "Oh, you became a soldier." Pause. "But you were always someone who wanted to protect things." For some reason that sentence stayed with me. Because Amelia saw things about me that even I ignored. When dinner ended, my mother walked us outside. Before Amelia left, my mother grabbed her hand. I immediately noticed. Because nobody touched Amelia cross casually. Nobody. But Amelia allowed it. "Amelia?" "Yes." "Come again." Amelia looked surprised. "Really?" "Yes." Pause. "You are welcome here." Something changed in Amelia's expression. Small. Almost invisible. But I saw it. Emotion. "Thank you." My mother smiled. "You do not need to thank me." Then she said, "You already feel like family." Amelia became completely still. For a second I thought she might cry. But she only nodded. "I would like that." On the drive back to base, Amelia was quiet. Not uncomfortable. Thinking. "You like tonight?" She looked out the window. "Yes." "What?" She was silent for a moment. Then I forgot what this felt like. "What?" "A home." The answer was softer than I expected. "You do not have family nearby?" "I have family." She paused. "But military life changes things." I understood. The military gave people purpose. But sometimes it took pieces of normal life away. "My mother likes you." "I know." "You sound confident." She told me. I laughed. "That is very much like her." Amelia smiled. Then became serious. "Noah?" "Yes." "Your mother said something before we left." "What?" She said. Amelia looked at me. "I hope you are ready for my son. Because he will need someone who chooses him every day." I looked away. My mother really said that? She is embarrassing. Noah. Amelia shook her head. "She is right." I looked at her. "What do you mean?" She was quiet. Then, "I know what it feels like to be needed for a position." Pause. "But I want you to know something." "What?" "I do not want you because you were useful." She looked at me. "I want you because you are Noah." My heart moved. Because that was exactly what I had wanted my whole life. Someone who chose me, not my work, not my title, not what I could provide, just me. The next morning, everything changed. I arrived at the base expecting normal training. Instead, I found people looking at their phones. Jason, one of my closest friends at the unit, walked over. "You have seen the news?" I frowned. "What news?" He handed me his phone. The headline made me freeze. Commander Amelia Cross secretly dating Lieutenant Noah Bennett. I looked at Jason. "What?" He shrugged. "It is everywhere." I immediately checked the article. A photo from last night. Amelia and me leaving my mother's house. Someone had taken it. And underneath the photo were accusations. That she was showing favoritism. that I was using her position, that our relationship violated military rules. My stomach sank. Because I knew Amelia. She would not care about herself. She would care about the mission, the unit, the reputation of everyone around her. I found her in the command office. She was already reading the report. Amelia. She looked up. I know. Are you okay? Yes. I sighed. Again. What? That answer. She looked at me. You always say you are okay when you are not. A tiny smile appeared. You noticed? Yes. She looked back at the screen. This is not about me. I know. It is about you. I became quiet. What are you going to do? She closed the report, then looked at me. The same thing I always do. What? Protect my people. I frowned. And if protecting me means losing your command? She stared at me, then answered without hesitation. Then I will still protect you. My heart stopped because the ICE commander had just made a choice. And it was not the military, not the title, not the position. Me. The military had a simple rule. Personal matters could never interfere with duty, and I understood that. I respected that. The problem was someone was trying to make it look like Amelia Cross had broken that rule. She had not, but perception was powerful, especially when the person involved was the commander. The investigation started immediately. No delays. No special treatment. Exactly what I expected from Amelia. Some people would have tried to hide. Some would have used their position. Not her. Commander Amelia Cross voluntarily requested an independent review. The same woman who could command hundreds of soldiers had placed herself under investigation because she believed rules mattered, even when they affected her. I found her after the morning briefing. She was alone in the command room looking at reports. As usual, you should rest. She looked up. You're giving orders now? Now I smiled. I'm making a suggestion. She returned to the documents. I am fine. I crossed my arms. Amelia. She stopped because she knew that tone. You are doing it again. Doing what? Pretending nothing bothers you. She was quiet. Then I am the commander. That is not an answer. It is my responsibility. I walked closer. Your responsibility is not carrying everything alone. She looked at me. For a moment, the cold expression disappeared. Then she said, you sound like your mother. I laughed. That is probably the biggest compliment you have ever given someone. A small smile appeared. It is. The investigation lasted 2 weeks. 2 weeks of questions, 2 weeks of rumors, 2 weeks of people watching every move Amelia and I made. But the result was exactly what we expected. No violation, no favoritism, no improper decisions. The relationship began after my previous assignments were already approved. My career progress was based on performance, not personal feelings. The official report cleared both of us, but the story did not end there because one question remained. Why had Amelia sent my mother her photo? And eventually everyone found out. The report included a section about the timeline. A small detail, but one that changed how people viewed everything. Before anyone knew about our relationship, Amelia had already recommended me for a major leadership course. Before she sent my mother the photo. Before dinner, before rumors, before anyone could accuse her of anything, because she had always believed in my ability, not because she liked me, because I earned it. That mattered. One evening after the investigation ended, Amelia asked me to meet her. Not at the office, not at the base, at a quiet park near the city. I was surprised. Why here? She looked around. Because there are no reports. I smiled. No missions, no officers, no commander? She looked at me. I am still a commander. I laughed. You know what I mean. She was quiet, then nodded. Yes. We sat on a bench. For a while, neither of us spoke. It was strange because silence with Amelia used to feel uncomfortable. Now it felt peaceful. Finally, she said, I owe you an apology. I looked at her. For what? For involving you. You did not. I did. She looked at the ground. When I sent your mother my photo, a pause. I did not think about how it might affect you. I smiled. Amelia? Yes. Are you apologizing for trying to become my wife? A tiny smile appeared. When you say it like that, it sounds unreasonable. It is a little unreasonable. I know, but she looked at me. I liked it. That surprised her. You did? Yes. What? Because for once someone was not waiting for me to prove I was worth choosing. She became silent. I looked at her. Do you know what I thought when you sent that photo? What? I thought it was impossible. What? Because Commander Amelia Cross does not do things like that. She nodded. I understand. Now I smiled. I mean it differently. Well, you were not acting like a commander. Pause. You were acting like a woman who knew what she wanted. Her eyes softened. And I respected that. The next morning another problem appeared. This time it was not about me. It was about Amelia. A message arrived from headquarters. A promotion opportunity. A major one. A position that would take her away from Fort Harrington. A position that could make her one of the youngest generals in the military. Everyone congratulated her. Everyone said it was the opportunity of a lifetime. But when I found her, she was not celebrating. She was staring at the assignment letter. What happened? She looked at me. They want me in Washington. I smiled. That is good. Yes. You should accept. She looked away. You said that quickly. Because you earned it. Pause. But I hesitated because I knew what she was thinking. This changes things. Yes. You would have to leave. Yes. I looked at her. Amelia? Yes. Are you thinking about refusing? She did not answer. That was answer enough. That night I visited my mother. I needed advice. She opened the door and immediately noticed something. You look worried. Am I that obvious? Yes. I sighed. It is Amelia. Her expression softened immediately. What happened? I explained everything. The promotion, the transfer, the choice. When I finished, my mother was quiet. Then she smiled. No. Yes. Do you know why she sent me her photo? I looked at her. Because she wanted to marry me? My mother laughed. No then? Because she wanted to tell me something. What? She looked at me. She was not asking me to approve her. Pause. She was asking for a place in your family. I became quiet. My mother continued, someone like Amelia does not fear missions. She does not fear danger. She does not fear losing power. Pause. But she fears losing the people she finally lets close. The next day I went to find Amelia. She was packing. I stopped. You decided? She looked at me. Yes. My heart sank slightly. Okay. She walked closer. I accepted. I smiled. Good. But I looked at her. But I requested one condition. What condition? She handed me a document. I read it, then froze. What is this? A transfer request. To Washington? No, I looked again. A position at the same headquarters. For me. I stared. Amelia. Yes. You requested a position for me? No then? She smiled slightly. I requested an opportunity for you. I looked at her. You planned this? Yes. What? Her answer was simple. Because I told you I would chase you. Pause. But I never said I would ask you to stop walking. My heart moved. Because that was Amelia. She never wanted me behind her. She wanted me beside her. Before we left Fort Harrington, something unexpected happened. The entire unit gathered, not for a ceremony, for Amelia. One soldier said, Commander Cross, yes? We always thought you were impossible to understand. A few people laughed, but we were wrong. He looked at me. Someone finally made you smile. Amelia looked embarrassed, actually embarrassed. Everyone noticed and everyone laughed. That evening, as we prepared to leave, my phone received a message from my mother. Only one sentence. Bring Amelia home for dinner before you leave. I showed her. She smiled. Your mother is giving orders again. Yes. Do you mind? I looked at her. No, why? Because the answer was obvious. The woman who once seemed untouchable was becoming the person my family could not live without. But before we left, a sealed military file arrived with Amelia's name. She opened it. Her expression changed. What? She looked at me. My father. I frowned. What about him? She handed me the file. Inside was an old photograph, a photograph of her father standing beside someone familiar, my father. And underneath the photo was a classified note. The Cross family and Bennett family connection must remain hidden. I looked at Amelia. The past had found us again. The photograph was old, the kind of old that carried memories, not just information. I stared at it for several seconds. My father, Daniel Bennett, standing beside Amelia's father, General Jonathan Cross. Two men I knew separately, two men who, apparently, shared a history neither of us knew. Amelia. She did not answer. She was still looking at the photograph. For the first time since I met her, she looked lost, not like a commander, not like a soldier, just a daughter. The classified file contained very little, almost too little. A date, a location, a mission code, and one sentence: the relationship between the Bennett and Cross families must remain confidential. That was it. No explanation, no details, nothing. And that bothered Amelia more than anything because Amelia Cross hated incomplete information. You are thinking too much. She looked at me. That is not helpful. It is true. Yes. She looked back at the file. I spent my entire life believing I understood my father. Pause. Now I find out there was an entire part of his life I never knew. I understood that feeling because I felt the same. My father had always seemed simple, quiet, ordinary. But now I was starting to wonder if he had spent years hiding something important. We decided to visit my father again. This time we did not ask. We showed him the photograph. The moment he saw it, he became silent, not surprised, not confused, silent. That told us everything. Dad. He looked at me. I knew this day would come. I frowned. You knew? Yes. Then why didn't you tell me? He looked at Amelia, then at me. Because your lives were finally peaceful. Amelia stepped forward. Mr. Bennett. My father smiled slightly. You are exactly like your father. That stopped her. You knew him well? Yes. How? My father sat down. Because General Cross saved my life. The room became quiet. 20 years ago, before Amelia became a commander, before I joined the military, our fathers worked together on a classified rescue mission. It was not a battlefield operation. It was an extraction, a mission that involved protecting civilians and recovering sensitive information. The mission failed. At least that was what everyone believed. My father was blamed. General Cross was blamed. Their careers were nearly destroyed. But the truth was different. Someone inside the operation betrayed them. Someone changed the mission records. Someone wanted both men removed. Oh. Amelia's voice was calm, but I knew her. She was angry. My father looked at the file. Marcus Valli. The name meant nothing to me, but Amelia reacted. You are sure? Yes. Who is he? My father looked at her. The man who became one of the most respected defense contractors in the country. I understood. I had an enemy. Someone who benefited from their failure. Someone who built a career on a lie. Amelia sat quietly after hearing everything. Then she asked, why did my father never tell me? My father sighed. Because he wanted you away from that world. That does not make sense. It does. My father looked at her. Your father knew you. Pause. He knew you would spend your entire life trying to correct an injustice. Amelia looked down. Because that sounded exactly like her. On the way back, she said almost nothing. That was unusual. Normally, Amelia processed information quickly, created a plan, moved forward. But this time she was thinking about her father. You miss him. She looked out the window. Yes. Do you regret not knowing this earlier? A long silence. No. That surprised me. What? Because he protected me. She looked at the passing scenery. Even when I thought he was keeping secrets. Pause. He was still trying to protect me. That evening we arrived at my mother's house. She immediately noticed something was wrong. Missions? I shook my head. Family. Her expression softened. She did not ask more. She simply prepared dinner. That was my mother. She understood when people needed answers and when they needed comfort. During dinner, Amelia was quieter than usual. My mother noticed. Of course she did. Amelia? Yes. Something happened. It was not a question. Amelia looked surprised. You can tell? My mother smiled. I raised Noah. I laughed. What does that have to do with anything? Everything. Then she looked at Amelia. You have the same expression he has when he worries. Amelia looked at me. I immediately looked away. Mom? What? You cannot reveal my secrets. I am your mother. That is not permission. Amelia smiled. A small one, but it was there. After dinner, my mother and Amelia talked alone. I did not listen. I trusted them, but later Amelia told me what my mother said. She told me something. What? That family is not about knowing every secret. Pause. It is about staying when secrets appear. I smiled. That sounds like her. Yes. Amelia looked at me. She understands people better than anyone. The next morning, the situation became bigger because Marcus Vail appeared publicly. A major defense conference announced his company's newest project. And standing beside him was a photograph from 20 years ago. The same mission. The same operation. The same history. Except Marcus told a completely different story. According to him, General Cross and Daniel Bennett were responsible for the failure. The world believed it for years. And now he was bringing it back. Amelia watched the press conference. Her expression became colder. The ICE commander returned. But this time I saw something different. Not just anger. Determination. What are you going to do? She looked at me. Find the truth. And if it hurts your father's reputation? She answered immediately. Truth does not hurt people who deserve justice. I nodded. That was Amelia. Later that day she received another message. A private military archive had been opened. Someone had accessed the old mission records. Someone with high-level authority. She checked the name, then froze. What? She handed me the screen. The person who accessed the files was Noah Bennett, my name. I stared. That is impossible. I know. Someone used my identity. Yes, but why? Amelia looked at the screen, then at me. Because someone wants us to believe you are connected. I felt my stomach tighten. The enemy who destroyed our father's reputations was now trying to destroy ours. And this time they were using me. The first thing Amelia did was not get angry. That was what surprised me. If anyone had the right to react emotionally, it was her. Someone had used my identity. Someone had connected me to a classified military archive. Someone was trying to make it appear that I was involved in the same conspiracy that destroyed our father's careers. But Amelia did not panic. She analyzed. That was why she was Commander Amelia Cross. We spent the next 12 hours reviewing every detail. The access record, the security logs, the authorization codes, everything. And the conclusion was obvious. Someone had copied my credentials, but not randomly. They specifically chose my identity. Why me? I asked. Amelia looked at the screen. Because you are connected to me. I frowned. That makes no sense. It does. She pointed to the old photograph. Your father and my father were connected. Pause. And now you and I are connected. I understood. The enemy was not attacking two individuals. They were attacking a story. A story that started 20 years ago. The next day, Amelia requested a private briefing with military intelligence. I was not supposed to attend, but Amelia requested my presence. That alone surprised everyone. Commander Cross was known for keeping personal feelings away from duty. Yet she walked into the briefing room beside me, not in front, not behind, beside, exactly like she always said. The intelligence officer placed several files on the table. Commander Cross, yes? We reviewed the unauthorized access. It was not done from inside the military network. I looked confused. Then how? The officer turned the screen, an external system. Amelia's expression changed. Marcus Vail. The officer nodded. That is our suspicion. The room became quiet. The same man, the same name, the same person connected to the past. Again, do you have proof? Amelia asked. Not enough. The officer shook his head. But we found something else. He opened another file, a list of financial transfers, companies, organizations, private contractors. Then one name appeared, Vail Strategic Solutions, the company controlled by Marcus Vail. My eyes narrowed. What does this prove? The officer answered, it proves someone inside his organization has been monitoring both families for years. Amelia looked at the file. What? Nobody answered because everyone knew the possible answer. Fear. Marcus Vail was afraid the truth would come out. After the briefing, Amelia and I walked outside. She was quiet, too quiet. What are you thinking? She stopped. I'm thinking about my father. What about him? He spent years carrying blame for something he did not do. Pause. And I spent years believing he was hiding things from me. I looked at her. Amelia. She looked at me. Yes. You were a daughter. Pause. You were not supposed to solve everything. That sentence affected her because I knew Amelia. She blamed herself for everything, even things that happened before she had any power to change them. That evening we visited General Cross's old home. It had been empty for years. The military had preserved some personal belongings after his death. Amelia had not returned since she was young. The moment she entered, she stopped. Not because of the house, because of the memories. She touched an old bookshelf. My father loved this place. I smiled. How do you know? He told me. Pause. Before everything changed. We searched through old documents. Not military files. Personal things, letters, notes, photos. Sometimes the truth was not hidden in official records. Sometimes it was hidden in ordinary moments. After several hours, Amelia found something. An old notebook. Her father's handwriting. She opened it. Inside were notes from the mission. Not classified information. Personal thoughts. One sentence caught her attention. If anything happens, Daniel knows the truth. Protect his son. I froze. Protect his son? Amelia looked at me. My father. Me. What? She continued reading. Another sentence. Marcus must never know the connection between our families. The room became silent. We finally understood. Our fathers were not just partners. They were protecting each other's families. The mission failure was not the only secret. The real secret was us. Our families. The reason Marcus spent years hiding the truth. Because if our father's children ever discovered what happened, the entire story would collapse. But one question remained. Why did Marcus wait 20 years? Why attack now? The answer came that night. A news alert appeared on my phone. Vail Strategic Solutions announces major government contract expansion. I looked at Amelia. He needs something. She nodded. Yes. What? Public trust. If the truth about him comes out, he loses everything. The next morning, Marcus Vail contacted Amelia directly, not through lawyers, not through official channels, personally. The message was short, we need to talk. Amelia showed me. What are you going to do? She looked at the message. I will meet him. Alone? Yes. No. She looked at me. No. I shook my head. You always stand alone. Pause. But you do not have to anymore. For a moment she said nothing. Then, okay. That single word meant more than I expected because Amelia Cross was learning something new, trust. We met Marcus in a private conference room. He looked exactly like the media showed him, successful, confident, untouchable. He smiled when he saw Amelia, Jonathan's daughter. Amelia remained cold. Marcus. Then he looked at me, and Daniel's son. I immediately felt uncomfortable because he said it like he owned the history. You know who I am. Marcus smiled. I know exactly who you are. Amelia stepped forward. Why did you access military files using Noah's identity? Marcus did not deny it. Instead he laughed. You two found the old records faster than I expected. The room became colder. You admit it? Yes. I stared. Why? Marcus leaned back. Because I wanted to see something. What? Whether the children of two old heroes would make the same mistake. Amelia's eyes narrowed. What mistake? Trusting people. Then Marcus placed a folder on the table. Inside was a document with my father's signature. My heart stopped because the document appeared to prove exactly what Marcus had claimed for years. My father had approved the mission decision that caused the failure. I looked at Amelia. Her expression changed, not anger, confusion, because for the first time we saw evidence that challenged everything we believed. Marcus smiled. Now you understand. He stood. Truth is not always what you want it to be. Then he left, leaving behind the one document that could destroy my father's name and destroy the trust between Amelia and me. The document sat between us. A single piece of paper, but somehow it felt heavier than anything I had ever held. My father's signature, a military authorization, a decision that appeared to connect him directly to the failure that destroyed General Cross's career. For years Amelia and I believed our fathers were victims. Now we were being shown evidence that suggested otherwise. Marcus Vail had left. He knew exactly what he was doing. He did not need to prove anything. He only needed to create doubt, and doubt was dangerous, especially between people who cared about each other. I looked at Amelia. She was still staring at the document. Her expression was impossible to read. That scared me more than anger because Amelia Cross was always calm, but when she became too quiet it meant she was fighting something inside. Amelia. She looked up. Yes. Do you believe it? The question hung in the air because I needed to know. Not about my father, about her. She looked at the document, then at me. No. The answer came immediately. I was surprised. No. No what? She picked up the paper because Marcus wanted me to see this. I understood. He would not show us the truth. No, a pause. He would show us the version that benefits him. We returned to headquarters not to report the document. Not yet. We needed proof. Real proof. Not emotions. Not assumptions. Amelia taught me something important during my years in the military. The truth did not care about feelings. It only cared about evidence. The next 48 hours were exhausting. We searched old records, mission reports, communication logs, archive files. Every piece of information connected to the operation 20 years ago, and slowly the cracks appeared. The first discovery, the document Marcus showed us, was real but incomplete. The second discovery, a page was missing. The third discovery, the missing page contained the exact information that explained everything. The missing page was finally recovered from an archive backup, and when we read it, everything changed. The document was not an approval of a dangerous decision. It was an emergency authorization. My father had approved the mission because there was no other option, and General Cross had agreed. They both knew the risk. They chose to save people not because they made a mistake, because they made the hardest decision. I stared at the screen. My father's name, clear, honorable, the opposite of what Marcus wanted us to believe. I felt a strange emotion, relief, but also sadness, because my father had carried this misunderstanding for decades, alone. Amelia sat quietly beside me. You were right. I looked at her. About what? My father. She looked at the documents. He was never hiding because he was guilty. Pause. He was hiding because he was protecting people. I nodded. And you? She looked at me. What? Do you still blame yourself? She froze. Because I knew that was the real battle, not Marcus, not the documents, her. My whole life she spoke slowly. I thought strength meant control. Pause. If I controlled everything, nobody could hurt me. I listened, but my father did the opposite. She looked at me. He trusted people. A small smile appeared, and he was right. I smiled. Because you trusted me. Yes. Was that difficult? She looked away. Very. I laughed softly. Commander Cross admitting something is difficult? She looked at me. Do not get used to it. That was the Amelia I knew. The final step was exposing Marcus, but we needed more than one document. We needed the full chain, the financial records, the altered reports, the people involved, and then we found it. A former analyst, someone who had worked under Marcus years ago, someone who had disappeared after the mission. His name was Samuel Reed, and he agreed to talk. We met Samuel in a quiet CAF. He looked older than his years, tired, like someone who had carried guilt for too long. When he saw Amelia, he immediately apologized. Your father deserved better. Amelia remained silent. Tell us everything. Samuel nodded. Marcus changed the records. What? Because the mission exposed something. What? Samuel looked at me. Your father's discovered he was using government contracts for personal profit. My expression changed. So, the mission failure was a cover? Yes. Amelia's eyes became colder. He destroyed their reputations to protect himself. Samuel nodded. He made heroes look guilty. Pause. And he made himself look like the man who fixed the problem. With Samuel's testimony, the evidence was complete. Marcus Vail had built his entire career on a lie. The military opened a formal investigation. The media story changed overnight. The same people who once praised Marcus began questioning him. His contracts were reviewed. His company faced investigations. His reputation collapsed. Not because of revenge, because the truth finally caught up. But the person I cared about most was Amelia. After everything ended, I found her standing outside headquarters looking at the flag. You okay? She smiled slightly. I am. I raised an eyebrow. She laughed softly. You were going to say I always say that. Yes. She looked at the flag. My father's name is clear. Pause. That is enough. I stood beside her. You know what your father would say? She looked at me. What? He would tell you to stop carrying his battles. Her eyes became emotional. You sound like him. Is that good? She smiled. Yes. That night Amelia came to my mother's house. Not as a commander, not as a guest, as family. My mother opened the door. Immediately she knew something had changed. You found the truth. Amelia nodded. Yes. My mother smiled. Good. Then she hugged her. No warning, no hesitation. Amelia froze, then slowly hugged her back. I watched quietly because I knew what that moment meant. Amelia Cross had spent her entire life protecting others, but tonight someone was protecting her. Later, while we sat in the living room, my mother looked at Amelia. You know something? Yes. When Noah first told me he wanted help finding a wife, I immediately became embarrassed. Mom. She ignored me. I thought I would have to introduce him to someone. Amelia smiled. My mother looked at her. Then you send me your photo. Everyone laughed, even Amelia. My mother continued. You did not ask permission. No, you did not wait for him to notice. No, you simply chose him. Amelia looked at me. Yes. My mother smiled. That is why I like you. A few weeks later, Amelia received her promotion. The position in Washington, the one everyone expected her to accept alone. But this time she did not walk alone. I accepted my own transfer. Not because she needed me, because I wanted to stand beside her. The way she had always stood beside me. On our last night before leaving, we returned to the place where everything started. The base. The place where I once asked the ICE commander to help me find a wife. I laughed. I still cannot believe I asked you that. Amelia looked at me. What? Because the answer was standing right in front of me. She smiled. You are slow. Very good. I looked at her. Good. Yes. What? Because if you noticed immediately, a pause, I would never have had the chance to chase you. I laughed. The next morning we left together. A new city, a new assignment, a new chapter. But before we boarded the plane, Amelia handed me something. A small envelope. I opened it. Inside was the same photo she sent my mother months ago, the one that started everything. On the back she had written one sentence. The first person I wanted to impress was your mother. I smiled, then turned it over. Another sentence was written below. The first person I wanted to choose was you. I looked at Amelia, the ICE commander, the woman who once seemed impossible to reach, the woman who turned a simple request into a lifetime promise. And I realized I never needed someone to find me a wife, because the woman I was looking for had been standing beside me all along. The first morning in Washington felt strange. Not because of the new city, not because of the new assignment, because for the first time in my life I was not starting something alone. I looked across the apartment. Amelia was standing in the kitchen, not wearing her uniform, not holding mission reports, not preparing for a briefing, just making coffee. I stopped and stared. She noticed. What? I smiled. Nothing. You are staring. I'm just trying to understand something. What? The fact that Commander Amelia Cross is making coffee in my kitchen. She looked at the cup. It is coffee. Yes. Is that surprising? Very. What? Because 6 months ago I thought you were incapable of normal life. She raised an eyebrow. And now? Now I know you are just a normal person who happens to command hundreds of soldiers. A small smile appeared. I will accept that. Life with Amelia was different from what everyone imagined. People expected the ICE commander to be cold at home, strict, impossible. They were wrong, very wrong. Amelia still planned everything. Of course she did. She had a calendar for everything: dinner, shopping, weekend plans, even relaxing. I once looked at her schedule and found an item called rest. I stared at it. Amelia? Yes. You scheduled relaxation? Yes. That defeats the purpose. She looked confused. What? Because relaxing is supposed to happen naturally. She thought about it. I disagree. Of course you do. What? Because you are Amelia Cross. She smiled. And you still chose me. Yes. What? I looked at her. Because you are the only person who can turn resting into a military operation. For a moment she tried not to laugh. She failed. The biggest change was not in Amelia. It was in everyone else. The people who once feared her began seeing another side. At headquarters, younger officers started coming to her for advice, not only about missions, about life. Because Amelia had learned something important. A leader was not someone who stood above everyone. A leader was someone people trusted enough to stand beside. One evening we attended a military family event. It was supposed to be simple: dinner, speeches, recognition. But when Amelia entered the room, everyone noticed something. She was holding my hand, not secretly, not carefully, openly. A young officer smiled. Commander Cross? Amelia looked over. Yes. I have a question. What? Is it true? She frowned. Is what true? That you asked Lieutenant Bennett's mother for approval before dating him? I immediately looked away. Amelia became quiet. The young officer smiled. I heard the story. I expected Amelia to avoid the question. Instead, she answered honestly. Yes. Everyone laughed. Seriously? Yes. What? Amelia looked at me, then said, because his family mattered to him. A pause. So, they mattered to me. The room became quiet because everyone understood. That was Amelia. She never did anything halfway. Later that night my mother called. She had become Amelia's favorite person to talk to, which was still strange to me. My mother and the ICE commander best friends. Impossible. You know what Amelia told me today? I asked. What? She wants to learn your grandmother's recipes. I smiled. She does. Yes. Why? Because she said she wants our future home to feel like yours. I became quiet because that was the thing about Amelia. She had spent years protecting people, but now she was building something, a home. A few months later, Amelia and I returned to Fort Harrington, not for duty, for a ceremony. The unit had organized a farewell event. When we arrived, everyone was there. The same soldiers who once feared Commander Cross. Now they were smiling. One of them stepped forward. Commander? Yes. We have something for you. He handed her a small box. Inside was a photo, the entire unit years ago. Amelia standing in front, cold expression, serious. Then another photo taken recently. Amelia smiling, standing beside me, everyone laughing. Two completely different versions of the same woman. The soldier said, "We always thought you were protecting us." Amelia looked at the photo. "But we realized you were also protecting yourself." She looked up. The soldier smiled. "You finally let someone stand beside you." For once Amelia had no response. That evening we walked around the base, the place where everything started, the place where I made the biggest mistake of my life, asking Amelia Cross to find me a wife. I laughed. What? She looked at me. I was thinking about the first day, the day you asked me for help? Yes. She smiled. You really had no idea? No, none? None. She shook her head. You asked the person you were looking for to help you find someone else. I know. That was very inefficient. I laughed. You sound like you are reviewing a mission. Maybe I am. And the conclusion? She looked at me. The mission was successful. I smiled. Really? Yes. What? Because I found exactly what I wanted. Pause. And you found what you needed. Years later people still told the story. The story of the soldier who asked his cold commander to find him a wife. The story of the commander who sent her own photo to his mother. The story of the woman who seemed impossible to understand until someone finally saw her. But the truth was simpler. I was not searching for a perfect wife. I was searching for someone who would choose me. And Amelia Cross was not searching for someone to protect. She was searching for someone who would let her be human. We found each other in the strangest way possible. A simple request. A single photo. One unexpected message. And a woman who looked at me and decided, I will be the one who chooses him. The ICE commander became my partner, my best friend, my family, and the woman who proved that sometimes the person you ask to find love for you is the person who has been loving you all along. That's all for today. Remember to subscribe and support us.